Jackson gave me the news of a planet far away. And Colonel O'Neill will assemble a team that will try to save the day. Dr. Sam has a master plan and a science attitude. And the job for Teal, he's part of the deal with his trusty go-out. It's just a regular day at Stargate Command, and it might be hard to understand.
Chevron 1 encoded. Chevron 2 encoded. Chevron 3 encoded. Chevron 4 encoded. Oh no, this is gonna happen. Chevron 5 encoded. Chevron 6 encoded. Chevron 7 what? We have a stable world.
Welcome back to a double XL beefy.
It's a beefy one.
Because we are such kind, gracious podcast hosts. We won't make you wait like they did in the 90s.
No.
Welcome back again. I'm your co-fry, Sarah.
All right, I'm your co-fry, Cristina.
I am your co-fry, Rebecca.
You know what I wanted to say, and it's taking me till now. We're a tri-fry. Like, I'm your tri. Like, co feels like two.
Your tri-fry?
I'm a tri-fry.
I'm your tri-fry.
I fry. I'm sorry.
It sounds like I try too hard at something, though. Like
that's accurate for my
It
life.
makes me think of the Try Guys, though. It's too close. We're gonna get
okay.
copyrighted.
Most of them.
Copyrighted.
Co-fry, your co-tri-fry.
Co-tri-fry.
Let me have it, okay? Let me have it.
Fair.
Oh God.
So on the docket, we have a fry box. There's two really important announcements that we're going to cover in there, and then we're going to go hard.
And we got to dive in. So
hang on to your butts, as Samuel
Literally.
Jackson said in Jurassic Park. We're going. You don't remember that? That's one of the best quotes. Hang on to your butts, and he like flips the switch to turn on the park.
nope, don't remember that. No.
What?
But did you just say Daniel Jackson said that?
No, Samuel L. Jackson.
I was like, Daniel Jackson was
Yeah.
not in Jurassic Park
Oh,
in any
Samuel.
way.
No,
Okay.
Which Jurassic Park was that?
the first one.
Yep, definitely don't remember that.
Oh,
I saw that movie in the movie theater, though. And then I was terrified of raptors in my house.
me too. I would hide in the bathroom, and I was terrified. I couldn't
Yep.
come out of the bathroom.
I was watching a Chris Stuckman movie review video where he had a T-shirt with Samuel L. Jackson's face, and it had the quote, "Hang on to your butts." That's
Nice.
yeah. So
Love this for you
So
and your
should
life
we-
experience.
Should we very quickly jump into this fry box because we have such a beefy
Yes,
episode.
please.
we got a lot
All right.
to do.
Let's go.
Short, cause we're three fry short.
All right.
We're here.
First thing, we'd like to announce we are like, I guess, kind of cool in the Stargate community because people are sending us shit now, like free stuff to promote. It's awesome. And this was mentioned in our last episode past and present, where I actually read an excerpt from the book Chevron's
Locked.
An unofficial, unauthorized oral history of Stargate SG-1 the first 25 years.
It is awesome. So we all got our copies, and I'll speak just briefly on this because I had a chance to like get into it and dive in when I was traveling a few weeks ago, and I've been kind of back and forth in it. And what I love is for someone like me with, as if you're not new here, my peak ADHD, all over the place, lack of focus. I am someone who's like closed captions on, needs something of a visual aid. I can't listen. You laughing at me? Anyway.
I had to burp.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Same, pretty much.
I also can't have subtitles on, though, personally. It drives me crazy. So
Oh, I have to.
we would not be able to watch something together ever.
Oh, absolutely not. Hell would break loose. But here's what's so unique about this. And I didn't really know what I was getting into. So in reading it, I first was tackling it like, okay, I'm going to just go through this, plow through it, because we are a podcast that goes episode by episode. And in this book, it is like an episode by episode in parts of it, just like recap, like towards the end of it, you can kind of get kind of what people's thoughts were, their opinions, everything from the actors, writers, producers, random people involved in their dialogue. It is such a cool verbatim recap of like, here's the episode that happened, and it's like a resource material. And the minute I was like, oh my god, this is the perfect unlock to get the behind the scenes, get that thing where from all of their everyone compiled together. I don't have to go like search for all these different videos. He did a great job gathering, going through, putting it in, recapping it into this book. So like an encyclopedia, like a resource material, you can go through and get. Actually, like I don't want to spoil it because there's some really interesting things in there that I learned that I started making notes on. And I'm really excited that we got a chance to preview this ahead of time. And if you are new to Stargate fandom, I also thought about this. It's a really great way to get into the lore, get into like quick story of like what's happened, get to know the characters, who are the key players, like when you're in the fandom, like who are the people that really have a seat at the table. And this book did such a great job bringing those voices to light, really consolidating that into one space. So I've enjoyed it. I am still reading through it, but I'm excited because now that's like our little handy guide for us as we go through these episode watches.
We have reference material now.
We do.
Yeah.
It was a definite massive labor lift and like huge accolades to him. So very excited about that. And
Yeah. The book is written by Ed Gross. He's written a lot of similar histories and oral histories of shows and everything. And it looks like in an episode or two, we will be interviewing him on our podcast, which is super exciting. So there's that.
That'll be really cool. So, and just to like give so that you know kind of like what the expectations are for this book, it is truly a written history of like everything leading up to the movie, to it going to Showtime. It has like a lot of history behind the scenes of like the making of it, but then you also have like a literal episode guide where it breaks down every single episode and the amount of work that had to go into this, because the amount of interviews that had to be watched where it's like, okay, I gotta write my excerpt on Jolinar's memories now. I need to find interview footage. I need to find quotes. I need to find people talking about it, and doing that for every episode of SG-1. So it's not only is history, but like an episode guide for people as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So one other thing we can say about that is we will be doing some sort of giveaway for this book. I can't give you details on that yet, but keep an eye out on our socials and our Patreon for information about said giveaway. So you could have the opportunity to win a free copy of Chevrons Locked, the oral history of Stargate SG-1. I don't have the whole title in front of me. It's very long. Sarah, read it again.
That was good from memory.
The unofficial, unauthorized oral history of Stargate SG-1, the first 25 years.
What Sarah said. That book.
That very much.
That's what we're gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna give that away. So cool.
The next thing on the docket, I'm just gonna refer to Rebecca. This is all you, lady. All you.
So yes, if you're new here, you're not. I know nobody's here. But if you're new here, I work for The Companion.
Hold on real quick, Rebecca. Your mic just did something funky.
You hear me?
It's like you're underwater.
Quiet.
Weird. Am I underwater? Why am I? Does it still sound weird?
Yeah, it still sounds weird.
Weird.
Hold on, that's better.
Is it better? Hold on. Let me just move it.
Of course, this would be like during your big announcement.
Is it better?
You're good now.
Okay. Tell me if it changes, please.
Okay, I will.
I've got like an expensive microphone setup now. We should not be underwater, like at all.
No, you're good.
Yeah, if you are new here, I work for The Companion. I'm a producer, and I am beyond delighted to yes, Sarah, I'm just gonna say it.
God damn it.
You know what though? It's okay. Let's just roll with it. Let's see what happens.
Sorry, my AC is
Everybody out
on.
there in the YouTube world is concerned about the sound quality. We'll just deal with it. It's fine. Yeah. So no, I work for The Companion. I've done a lot of things. I've done a lot of really cool things. I've done a roundtable with Chris Judge where I got to go out to LA and like produce that. I have met all these amazing people, but there has been one that I have been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting to produce. And that is Queen of Our Hearts, Grand Empress of Sci-Fi, Amanda Tapping. So on June 3rd, you should all mark your calendars because we're doing a really special event. It's called Embracing Mental Health as a Fandom. And we're going to do an hour-long interview. I'm going to be hosting an interview with Amanda. We're going to be talking about mental health struggles, but also how people as a fandom can come together and help each other. And then after that, there are going to be these really like cool small group sessions, 5 people for 15 minutes that get to like talk to Amanda. We have officially sold out of those.
That's
It's
amazing.
incredible.
We sold out of them in less than 48 hours, which is pretty wild and wonderful. But you should still come. If you are a companion member, you can sign up for a free ticket to the hour-long event. Or if you're not a member, or if you are a member of the companion and just want to donate because the money is going to mental health charities, go ahead and buy yourself a ticket. If you go to www.jointhegreenroom.com, you can get all the information you need there. But yeah, I highly recommend it. I'm very excited. It's not only an honor to be able to interview and talk to Amanda, but just the subject matter too is very important and very close to, I think, all of us in a lot of different ways. So I'm here to try to help spread awareness and understanding, especially understanding that people probably have more of a community than they realize with all of us. So yeah, I just want to make everybody help everybody realize that. So June 3rd, it's going to be 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. British, which is 8 p.m. Central European. I'm getting really good with the term.
You were like,
I'm on it. But yeah,
So mark your Golden Girls calendars.
mark your Golden Girls calendars. Sarah and I both have the same calendar.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can check here for more information as far as that event is concerned as well. So
Yeah.
what I got to say about that? I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
You'll do great. It's going to be great. All right. I think
I think it's time.
there's a
we
lot
gotta
of
get
notes.
we gotta get through this big old beefy.
I'm going to try and
do it.
get through this as much as possible. I found like a really interesting tidbit on why this is a 2-parter, which I will get into. I'll reveal as we go through the notes.
Please do.
So first,
wait.
again, we are such kind, gracious podcast hosts. We are doing a 2-parter in one. Jolinar's Memories, which is season 3, episode 12, followed by The Devil You Know, which is season 3, episode 13. Because we've all done our time in the 90s. We are not making you wait.
They don't put you on a
week.
cliff.
No,
No.
we don't do that here. So, opening scene, Jolinar's Memories.
My favorite part.
3 Tok'ra arrive, including Martouf. They are very serious. Jacob has been captured by Sokar. Martouf reminds them Sokar is the Gould who has taken the persona of the devil, and if Jacob is alive, he has been sent to hell, a place of eternal suffering and damnation, of which there is no return. Opening credits with the devil face emoji.
They've been building up Sokar for like the whole season at this point, right? Like we're finally here. With
With a 2-parter, guys.
Yep.
We get to find out who Sokar is. Bum, bum, bum. Trip to hell.
Yes, exciting. Hell turns out to be a planet called Netu, a moon that orbits Sokar's planet. What?
Just turns out.
Just the way you said that. Just like it's like in Scooby-Doo when like at the end they like unveil the like villain, you're like, hell turned out to be Netu.
Old Man Jenkins. So Martouf believes that Jacob is still alive because Sokar is a fun guy and he likes to play with his food before he eats it, i.e. torture people instead of just like killing them outright. But there's no record of anyone escaping Netu except for Jolinar. This is where SG-1 come in. The Tok'ra don't ever show up unless they want something from you. Like, they should know that by now. So Martouf explains that Jolinar never spoke about how she escaped. She was found unconscious and badly injured. The other Tok'ra encouraged her to remember, but she was like, fuck that shit. I'm locking that in a box and burying it 6 feet under.
Real deep down.
Throw away that key. And from what we find out, yes, girl, you deserve that piece because barf. So the Tok'ra have a memory recall device that they can use to help aid the recovery of Jolinar's memories. This is where I'm going to go on tangent number 1, because I was thinking about this a lot. Every time there's a piece of alien technology, they don't have a real name for it. The alien recall device, the ribbon device, this device, that can you like think of a name, please? I don't like it. It feels lazy, and I feel stupid when I talk about it.
But then you get the Zatnicatel or whatever.
So the best one is the one from the like little grenade thing.
The Technicatels.
No, Technicateram, or like I can't even like it goes on for a while.
Yeah.
That one, that's my favorite one.
I actually was doing some brainstorming and found like a name generator for inventions to come up with some actual names for these things. So if you want, okay, let me go to my other note. Because there's also the communication device that you can Tok'ra talkie, like walkie-talkie. You can think of something else. It's just the communication device. So for the ribbon device, my like what I would come up is like Brain Scrambler 3000, like anything. Like SG-1, Earth can give it whatever name it wants. Like you can make up whatever name, or like the Mind Melter, something crazy like that. That's a very 90s, you know. The memory recall device, this I use like the professional name generator, like if it was a business name, like Recall Pro, Recall Wizard, like Total Recall, like something like that. But I hate when they don't like come up with real names for these things, and then it's just like the device. I don't like
now
it.
we know your pet peeve. Everything is the device.
It's lazy. Yeah, it is.
It's lazy. Well, and I like Nell's comment. Nell says, new theory, Zatnicatel is Googled for snake device.
I found the name of the thing that I like.
What is it?
You pronounce it. Takuna Tagaminiterons. Takuna Tagaminiterons. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. O'Neill goes, is it called? Teal'c says tax, and O'Neill goes Technicatels, and Teal'c goes Takuna Tagaminiterons.
To be fair, like this was also before a time when I can't say that because Klingon is like an actual language that can be spoken. So, and now in like Game of Thrones or these fantasy, these very deep, rich, even Tolkien, he had like the Elven language.
Sure did.
You can create a language. The Dothraki, like that was a whole language, or Valerian, Elvish, like
you can, but my question is it worth it to spend that much time on creating a language? What are you actually trying to do with it? That would be my argument.
Create a whole subculture.
Convince me. That's all I ask. Convince me. Make it convincing.
I also think they left it for SG-1 specifically for comedic relief and like comedy. Like I do think that was a huge factor in it.
Yeah.
Based on the Eris Bach episode where Teal'c says the Takuna Gadumitaran, whatever that one. Technicatel? No, not even close.
Yeah. So, yeah, that I kind of like that bother because there was a lot in this episode. Like I said, the memory recall device, the communication device, the ribbon device, and I'm like, can you make up a real name? The Brain Scrambler sounds way cooler, and you know exactly what it does by the name. So. Anyway, I gotta go back.
We are all allowed our pain points. And I appreciate that this is one of yours.
Yeah. So Martouf explains that, okay, wait, that's right. She locked that shit in a box. Memory recall device, pet peeve of mine. So it's not just Jacob's life on the line. The Tok'ra believe that Sokar is about to launch an attack on the other system lords. And when you have multiple system lords in a row, like all kind of fighting for power amongst themselves, it's a better power dynamic than one big giant asshole out there trying to ruin everyone's good time. So they would like, let's keep the system lords because like we know what to expect from them. And if he's going to go out and kill all of them, it's going to ruin everyone else's time. We don't want that.
No.
So Hammond gives them a thumbs up, be like, good to go. Like, to hell with us, as Jack says. There was a really good quote where Jack was like, I'm gonna end up there sooner or later, might as well check out the neighborhood. So Martouf tells them that they have to go to Vorash first, which is their deserty homeworld, and use a cargo ship to get to Netu because there's no Stargate and all the prisoners are taken there by ship. The ship they have is kind of a clunker. It's the same one that Jolinar escaped in. It's got basic flight capabilities, but hyperdrive can only be run at 40%. The ship does not have cloaking capabilities either. This is the second time we're seeing this kind of cargo ship. The first time we saw it was in the Erisbach episode. I forget what it was.
Dead Man Switch.
Yes. And that one had the cloaking capabilities. And there was even a joke of like O'Neill said, "Oh, you've got the base model. You don't have the fun cloaking device." Cloaking device. Again, there's the device. So Teal's common space person knowledge comes into clutch because he is going to be the one to pilot the ship. Thank God.
There we go.
So we have some dialogue that gives us more like lore on the Hell planet. It's Martouf, Daniel, and Carter and O'Neill.
I'll take Carter and O'Neill. No. Sure. I don't know. Martouf has the most.
I can take. Well, no, I can't take Martouf unless someone else is going to take.
All right,
Daniel.
okay, I'll do it. I'll do Martouf.
I was going to say. There you go.
So Martouf says, while we're on the surface, you may have to avoid Sokar's forces.
What
Teal.
isn't? Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
he's saying that to Teal. Like, hey, you gotta like pilot this ship real good, bro.
What isn't Teal coming with us?
He cannot. The atmosphere around the moon is impenetrable by ship. The only way to reach the surface is in the descent pods. It is how all of the damned are sent to Netu by Sokar, and it is how we must also arrive if we are to convince the other denizens that we can be trusted.
And there are only 4 pods.
Correct.
And O'Neill says, this counts as a surprise, you know.
Shall we embark?
By all means, to hell with us.
Yeah.
There's the line.
Yeah, so they have to take these escape pods down to Netu, like from the atmosphere. They're basically a coffin, which that would suck. Like, yeah, there's heat dampening shields so you don't cook, but
Not great.
Not good for the stomach.
Also, I've always wanted to run a running total, and I should have done it before this one, with the number of times Martouf says denizens in this 2-parter, because I feel like he says
Really?
denizens
He
a
does.
lot.
I noticed
Does he?
that too.
Denizens, yeah.
What does that mean? I did
Like
not
the
look that up.
residents of a place, the denizens. Yeah.
It sounds like a mean word for it. Like
It
you're a
is. It's not like the
citizen.
nice. No, yeah, because you're not. They clearly aren't citizens because they don't have rights, right? So it's like an inhabitant or occupant of a particular place. That's literally like the base definition of it. But yeah, he says denizens a lot. I remember like every time.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't just say prisoners because that's what they are.
No,
but
not to him.
So once again, they're kind of always finding a way to exclude Teal'c, which bums me out. Like, but I mean, he does come in clutch and save their rear ends in the end. But I just don't like that he's always excluded by default.
I feel like they probably had to. They have to in certain episodes because like otherwise Teal'c not knowing who somebody was or what was going on wouldn't have made like a ton of sense. But it does suck that it's Teal'c because like we want Teal'c there, but it's also like I feel like Teal'c would have seen through all this shit a lot faster than everybody else would have.
Yeah,
so they kind of had to keep him in the ship. That's kind of my like feeling on this specific 2-parter. But
yeah, because also like who would have pulled off what needed to happen in the ship? Like it had to be Teal'c to do that, and like someone has to stay back.
It just sucks that meant he had less screen time. You know?
Yeah.
Truly. So there's some more lore backstory about the Hell Planet. You guys want to read? It's Daniel Martouf O'Neill.
I'll just do Daniel O'Neill. Right?
Sure.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rebecca. You got Martouf.
Well, I start.
Yep.
So what else can you tell us about Netu?
The moon The moon was once an industrialized colony of the planet Delmark. When Sokar conquered Delmak and made it his homeworld, he transformed the moon's environment to suit the myths.
Oh, Neil says, sounds like you went to an awful lot of trouble.
He filled the atmosphere with barely breathable toxins, then blasted numerous holes in the moon's surface, releasing the molten core.
So they literally created a hell planet. I don't know what Earth books he was reading. Like maybe he did get a hold of the Bible and was like, "This is cool. I'm gonna like cosplay this."
Let's be creepy.
Hell cosplay. So Martooth breaks out the memory recall device. It's the same thing Hathor used on them in Out of Mind, and it can provide memory and sensory recall. So not only do you remember it in vivid Technicolor, but you also get to feel the emotions and physical pain.
So, like, at first I'm like, why would you be an asshole and put sensory on this recall thing? Like, why would you do that?
Maybe
But
it wasn't
then-
intentional. Maybe it was just like,
Well-
whoops, sorry.
Okay, but then the total, like, inappropriate person in me is like, also, though, if you weren't recalling bad memories, maybe they were good memories, and then maybe that would be better use of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also like you have to dial it to a certain intensity to try to get
Mhm.
like these to like uncover these hidden memories.
Mm.
So unfortunately, that means that you're going to have a lot more heightened like memories and feelings and everything from other memories because of that.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. And if it's sensory, like I don't know if we've all heard the saying of like smell or like scent is the sense linked to memory, the strongest link to
Mhm.
memory. So if it's giving you a lot of all of these other sensory information into, so like if you remember the smell, like it could help you remember more stuff. I'm rambling at this point, but yes, that
No, there's tons of sense things. Like I still
Yeah.
have touch memories of like my door handle of my house when I was a kid, like things like that. Like I
Yeah.
can still feel that in my hand if I think about it. So it like those senses are important to recalling certain things.
Remember in peak COVID when they ran out of like regular hand sanitizer alcohol and were using like food grade alcohol?
Okay,
Yeah.
no.
Every time when I was working at the grocery store and like I would get something sticky on my hands, and I hate like having the feeling of dirty hands, and I'm like, I fucking hate using this, but it made me want to vom because it's like, oh, this is
Just straight up
bringing back
tequila.
memories. Yeah.
No,
This is
you
awful.
guys. No, okay, but even worse because the same thing being at my place of work and like clients coming in and be like, yes, let me sanitize my hands. And then they're like, no thanks. And like,
Yeah.
And they're like, you don't have the nice hand sanitizer.
we don't have that. No, so we actually had to stockpile and find a place that did not do this other kind. That was the most annoying thing ever. It exposed a lot about people's dispositions. It was very interesting.
It was nasty. Honestly, like, and I had to go to the drugstore to get a prescription yesterday, and they had like the big tub with the pump, and I'm like, oh, cool, give me some hand sanitizer. And I didn't realize it was the tequila kind.
No, not the tequila kind.
Straight up tequila too.
Like
so
how
gross.
how anybody takes tequila shots at this point, I don't know. Never
Fun
again.
story, the hand sanitizer I used on my feature film that we bought like a huge, like a couple of tubs of, was actually made with hand sanitizer and sex lube. And it was packaged by sex workers during the pandemic because they weren't working. Like they
It's a
weren't
much
doing
Nice.
work.
spicier type. I like that.
Listen, it was like, it was
Silica.
actually the best. It was so nice. I'm not going to lie.
So
It's the
sweet.
nicest hand sanitizer. Highly recommend.
Yes.
So
No, just
keep it
send
on.
me the link. Send me the
Yeah,
site.
I'll have to pull up that link again because like that was legit. Also, did not smell like tequila.
Thank God.
So
Oh
it had
god.
that going for it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky you. Not us out there.
So
Nope.
anyway, because this memory recall device is so like intense, some of Sam's personal memories might get recalled too, and out of respect, they're not gonna project it on the giant TV screen. What's the thing at the basketball
They're not going to
games?
Chromecast it to the screen.
The Megatron.
They're not gonna put that shit on the Megatron.
No kiss cam here.
But everyone's gonna be in the room, which I'm not sure is much better. Like, yes, all of my peers sit with me while I relive traumatic memories. It's cool. Like, you couldn't have gone into another room, maybe, or kicked people out. I don't know.
Nope.
Seemed
No.
a little invasive.
Little
So
bit.
the first memory Sam recalls is the day her mother died. Jacob comes home and he's been crying. Martouf tries to redirect Sam to Jolinar's memories instead. Be like, remember this. And he was talking about, like, think of the last night we spent together before she was captured by Sokar. We walked along the ridge. There were 2 moons. It was super romantic. And we get a flash of Martouf and Jolinar. It's very romantic. They didn't speak of Jolinar leaving. They both knew it was dangerous, but she had to go. They kiss. Sam recalls how they stayed up all night together as Daniel and Jack look on awkwardly. I don't know what that means. They stayed up all night together. Was it like I feel like I'm gonna barf and I can't really sleep because I'm so nervous, or like we stayed up all
Sarah.
night together and like yeah. I don't know.
Sarah, they stayed up all night together.
Mm.
Right? Or am I just a perv?
No, you're not.
I could have read that either way.
That's
that's-
fair.
That would really affect the awkwardness of Sam being in the room with everybody else, putting Martouf's sex life on like full display. Like, oh, okay, you got down with Jolinar. Oh, okay, right before she got captured and sent to the Hell Planet.
Martouf seems pretty good with it, so
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
he's
fine.
very open about it.
Oh yeah.
So he says, you know, hey, I should have explained this earlier, but I had this personal relationship with Jolinar and it might be uncomfortable, but he thinks that Jolinar hid a lot of what happened on Netu because of their relationship. She didn't want it to come between them. And he doesn't want Sam to hold anything back to spare his feelings. He's like, just lay it on me, girl. Like, whatever it is, I need to know. So we have a comment.
he's
Lexa, hi! New viewer. This is one of
Hi,
our new
Lex.
patrons. Hi.
Hi,
Nice to
Lexa.
see you.
yeah, J.R. Bourne is on new Teen Wolf apparently.
Is
Love
he? What does
that.
he look like these
He's on
days?
quite a few things these days. He's doing pretty well for himself. J.R. Bourne.
I just specifically remember him.
Hi.
Hello. I specifically remember him as the scummy lawyer in 13 Ghosts that gets cut in half sideways.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's my other memory of him.
Wait, sideways or sideways?
Like, I forget the distal proximal, like, but
Or
like
sideways. So
like-
is that side-
I don't know the an anatomical term for it. Distally or proxal or whatever, but like not in half, like toward. I know.
Like this.
this way. This way.
Yes, that like
Yeah,
that.
okay, anyway.
This way.
This
Oh,
way.
face this way. This way.
Yeah. Flop that way. Yes.
This way.
Yeah.
Yes, that way.
Yes. So
I'm so glad we're here for this.
This is exactly why I made my coffee and my wine. Because this is
It's up, it's down, it's
all
everywhere. Yeah.
So we have another flash of a memory. A ceremonial dressed Jaffa walks over to Jolinar with a Gould pain stick. What a shitty fucking name for a thing again. Here we go. Weird, lazy name. And begins to torture her with it from behind. A pale-faced man in a hooded cloak laughs as Jolinar screams in agony. That's our first glimpse of Sokar. He's a really nasty looking guy. We'll see more of him soon. So Sam also screams in pain because it's a fun memory recall experience. And Sam can literally feel the pain that Jolinar felt. Martouf tries it again. She wants Martouf to try it again, but on a lower setting. She was on a ship just like this one. They put her in the descent pod. There was fire all around. It was hard to breathe. She sees flashes of another man who is not Sokar, but also a Gould, and she does not mention this to Martouf. Because she's like, ick. This guy gives me the ick in a way that, like, barf. So we have some dialogue between O'Neill and Martouf. Do you guys want to read that?
Sure. Your choice. Which one you want?
O'Neill.
Bring it on.
Hey, Marty, a word?
Let's walk off together.
Pushing a little hard, don't you think?
There is not much time left.
It's her father. She knows the stakes.
If she does not remember Jolinar's method of escape, I will not allow any of you to accompany me down to the surface.
Why?
Because anyone who goes down there will likely not return.
But you're gonna go.
I will attempt to locate Selmak and communicate any relevant information to you. You will then return to Vorash and relay it to the Tok'ra.
And leave you and Jacob down there to what? Rot?
With no means of escape.
All right. First of all, Carter's not going to let you go without her. Secondly, I won't let it happen. Thirdly, Jolinar escaped.
But if Samantha cannot recall how,
I know I heard you, and forgive the bravado, but it's been done before. It can be done again.
Love the can-do attitude. He's like, we're freeballing it. We'll figure it out as we go. Like,
we're going in.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
So there's some more dialogue. It's kind of like we get into that memory of that man that she did not talk about to Martuf, but she talks about it to Daniel. Do you guys want to read that too?
Sure.
All right. So Daniel says, "You gonna be okay?"
Yeah, it's just so confusing. Images and faces, fragments of thoughts and feelings. There was a Goa'uld on Netu, not Sokar. He was, let's just say he was less than attractive. I know his name. I can't find it, but I get this horrible, sick feeling when I remember him.
Something happened between him and Jolinar.
Something worse than the torture and pain. Something Jolinar never wanted Martuf to find out about.
They
Get
did
the
the
implication. Yeah.
They did the deed.
He was passing his peen around.
No.
So they approach Netu. Martuf moves the recall device to like behind Sam's ear so it's not as visible.
Why didn't they just do that at the
put it there?
beginning? Like,
Let
do
me
we need
stick
to be
a-
reminded that, oh, yeah,
Let me stick a thumbtack in your head twice.
twice, not once.
Twice.
And then use an electric nose hair trimmer
That's right.
to fine tune it.
Yep.
Yep.
Get the Bosch 3000 or whatever they're called. So Jack wants to bring weapons, but Martuf is worried that they'll be found out. The goal is to blend in with the other prisoners and denizens. Sokar would never send anyone down with weapons. Martuf gives Jack a communication device that they can use to communicate with Teal'c. They looks like a little stone, like a nice carved out little stone. We want to hear my names for that. Hold on.
Yes, please.
Tok'ra talkie, like a walkie-talkie.
Tok'ra-talkie.
Stone comm, stone speaker, literally anything.
I was not prepared for Tok'ra-talkie.
Oh, I'm dead over Tok'ra-talkie.
When you think about it, like, who decided to name it a walkie-talkie? Like, are we 5? Or like, even the word movie, like,
Move.
it's a movie. It's a movie picture. It moves.
It's a picture that moves.
Sneaky speaky. That's even better. Hire us for the reboot. We'll pick out all the names.
Sneaky.
Anyway. Oh, where did I lost my notes? Okay, hold on. Oh wow, I went down to the full.
Ooh, Tok'ra-talkie.
I do want to know who came up with the walk. I can walk and talk. It's a walkie-talkie. So I gotta find my place.
Good.
I
I'm
lost
good.
my
I'm
place.
fine. Everything's
I'm
fine.
not.
I'm like
fine.
sweating.
Oh god.
So This is where I actually like put the rant in my notes. Does none of the alien technologies have proper names? It's all device this, device that. So the transport pods are launched from the cargo ship while in orbit. They're basically coffins. It's a no for me, dog. I probably would like pee my pants on the way down.
I mean, it's transport to hell. So what do you expect?
The velocity,
Nope.
speed, velocity, confined space, not good for me. No thanks.
No.
So once they land, Sam remembers enough to lead them to the underground colony. They do a pretty good job of making the place look miserable. This is like, remember in the episode Prisoners where I was like, this looks like the level of Misty Bog from Spyro the Dragon? This is kind of like the Nasty Nork level of Spyro the Dragon.
They took this to like red light district on like grunge and gross level. This was
So I'll drop one of my fun facts because like, okay, when you guys think of like the visuals for this episode, what do you think? Do you think they like it looked impressive? Do you think it was like, okay, it looks better but still like very campy or like B-roll science fiction-y?
I mean, I think the wide shots looked like very similar to other things at that time, as far as like they would do like a painted like wide sort of deal and try to like add things in on top of it.
So they spent a ton of money on this episode. It almost was as much as they spent on Children of the Gods, which is why it had to be a two-parter. That's the only way they could justify spending spending that much money. And I think the environment and like the prison setup and everything had a lot to do with it. Also, the memories they had to manufacture
that's true.
probably were a little more expensive.
Fun side story about Sokar in this episode. I made a really fun TikTok when the Lil Nas X song came out about like the stripper pole down to hell, and like Sam's just sitting there like watching.
Can we bring that one back, please?
Oh yeah, I'll try to find it. And do it again.
God.
Specifically for this episode because it's worth it. So
I have another fun fact about Sokar, but I'll wait for that one.
Okay.
So flashback, Jolinar sees the ugly, creepy Gould man from before and touches his face. In a mirror, we see her kissing him passionately, return to present day. Again, he was passing that pain around. So Sam remembers now his name is Bainar. A Jaffa arrives. Their name is Neonak. His head is covered by a helmet and a shroud. He looks like an executioner. It's kind of cool, actually. He's the first prime to Bainar. So already we've got Sokar's a Gould, Bainar's a Gould, and now Neonak is a Gould. It's Gould Town. So wait, did I lose my notes again? Okay, no.
You're right.
But he's the first prime of Bainar and orders that they're going to be banished to the surface. Because Sam's like calling out, like, I demand to see Bainar. It's like, girl, you're just going in.
You're just screaming names you don't know.
Yeah, so O'Neill, they all pull their weapons. O'Neill goes down. We see from an elevated distance a figure wielding a Gould hand device, the Brain Scrambler 3000. Carter pulls her pistol and shoots an approaching man. It's kind of like this whole throwdown. Many denizens approach, grab Carter, force Daniel to his knees, and hold Martouf. O'Neill is gasping and coughing, lying on the ground. Bainar emerges. Sam reveals she was host to Jolinar. So the team is thrown down a ramp into the pit, which is a group of prison cells below the main level, and the guards lock the trapdoor in the floor above them.
I mean, that was a pretty brazen, but what else was she supposed to do? Because like she just knows she had a relationship with the man. She didn't know how it ended. She didn't know.
True.
She didn't,
Even up till the point where, like, right up to the point, like,
yeah, it could have been helpful to know that part that moment of it. But
the tables be turning real quick for her. So O'Neill had to make just keeps getting smellier and smellier down the further you go. So we have some more dialogue. We have Daniel, Martouf, Carter, O'Neill. I'll do the O'Neill.
I can do Daniel Martouf because there's only okay. All right, so Daniel says, I thought Sokar wouldn't allow any weapons. So far, we've seen a staff weapon and a hand device. Martouf says, I do not understand it myself.
Surprise, surprise.
Binar is Sokar's appointed leader. He has permitted a hand device and one staff weapon for his first prime.
Martuf says, what made you think Binar would be a sympathetic to Jolinar?
I was sure he was the one that helped her escape.
Why?
She,
And the others realize what she's implying, and Martuf looks really sad.
I'm sorry. Look, he's the key. Now, Binar may not have knowingly helped Jolinar, but I'm sure he must know how she escaped.
And then off screen, we hear a very weak Jacob call out. Selmak is dying. So they find Jacob. They went about it a weird way, and they exposed themselves real quick, but they found him. So back in the cargo ship, Teal'c looks out the view screen and sees a beam moving from Netu to the planet Delmak. Which, so again, Netu's the moon, Delmak is like the home planet. It looks like a beam that occurs during the use of the ring transports. Good looking out, Teal'c. He's already forming a plan. So Binar goes to thank Sokar for returning Jolinar so he can seek his revenge. But Sokar is like, what the fuck, man? That wasn't me. They're intruders and you need to kill them. And he turns to his other Jaffa and tells them to look for the ship that brought them. Thoughts on Sokar? What do you think? This is kind of like the first time we get like a really good shot of him and like seeing him.
He's that like stereotypical like super pale demon guy, you know.
He's got these long like crack fingernails. He's very pale. He's got like yellowish eyes. And then what gets me most is like the dark veins on his skin. That's nasty. Like
I think I appreciate how they represented him because I think a lot of places would have done Binar as like the devil, like gross guy. Like this guy has got more of like a dark emo phase he went through. He's really emotionally like in this space. And I appreciate that vibe. They did a good job with it.
Sokar literally is like a cosplayer of of the devil.
He literally though honestly reminds me of if like Stargate's version of a Darth Maul. Like very like it's that same vibe, like edgy cool. Some people are probably going to be into it. And
this wouldn't have been too terribly long after Darth Maul. So
yeah.
And he's always got his hood. He's got the hood, so it's like very mysterious. But yeah, he's that like you would expect the villain to be like this big, strong, scary like guy like Binar, but this is like the skinny emo villain.
Oh god.
So Jacob has the strength to speak. They've been getting him water and getting him like stronger. So we have some dialogue. Jacob, Martuf, O'Neill.
I'll stick with the Carter family.
Okay, I'll stick
one O'Neill.
I'll do Martuf.
Excellent.
Jacob says, Sokar's fleet is 10 times larger than we thought. He is poised to attack 6 key system. Wow, that's hard to say. 6 key system lords. He will win.
He will control an army big enough to rule the galaxy if that is so.
When is all this supposed to happen?
The attack was due to take place 2 weeks from the time I was captured. That was 4 days ago.
We must relay this to the Tok'ra immediately.
So they begin talking to Teal'c on the Tok'ra talkie, but Neonak enters and takes Sam away to Binar. She thinks it could be the only chance for her to figure out how Jolinar escaped. So Binar, let's get the whole like picture of him. He's gross. He has one eye that's gone. It was like plucked out of his face with like nasty scars that are all like infected and oozy, and
it's the pus for me.
It's gross.
It was a big old pus patch. Like it wasn't even like dripping. It was just like here's a pocket of pus.
Listen, they don't got antibiotics in hell, okay? Like
you should burn that shit, like solder that closed. I don't know. Yeah, it was gross.
So Binar can tell Sam does not have a symbiote, and he's like, I figured this much, that Jolinar would never want to see my face again. And Sam recalls that Jolinar betrayed him, and Binar points to his eye and says, look what Sokar took from me because Jolinar escaped. He plucked that shit right out.
Sam's like, oh shit.
Yeah, and she still doesn't get it yet. There's a point where I'm like, girl, you are so wrong. So loud and wrong in the worst time. So Back in the pit, Jacob wakes up and asks about Sam. I don't know if we need to read this.
Probably
It's
not.
just yeah, it's
No.
just like she thinks Binar is their way to get out. He Sokar's eyes and ears around here, keeps it from like any uprisings, keeps the conditions livable, and he also like goes to Sokar to be like, "Want to hear about the torture today? Like, let me give you this hell scoop."
Sokar needs the torture reports, you know.
Yeah, they gotta have
Yeah.
battle buddies, torture
Yeah.
buddies. Come on
And
now.
they're like, okay, well, how does Binar get to Sokar? Because Sokar's on the planet. So, like, he has to get there somehow. They're trying to figure out how they can get out of here. Back with Binar, he quickly determined since Selmak is the newest addition, they must be there for him.
So he's gross, but he's not dumb.
Correct. Sam believes Binar helped Jolinar escape because he loved her. Wrong. Girl, no.
He did, and that's the problem. Yeah.
I mean, he
do
used
you
to, but
think-
not no more. Yeah.
I don't think he I thought he was just using her.
I think
I
he
do
Oh
was,
not.
no.
I think he was obsessed with her.
Oh no, yeah, no, I think he was in love, because the scene where he's passed out asleep and like that was a very intimate, like he wouldn't have allowed her in that space. Like they were spending the night together. They were shacked up.
Yeah,
That's
but
how I interpret that.
I don't know. I just thought she was using her feminine wiles and like, well, I guess I'm gonna use this, use the
I
the
think-
oldest weapon in the book, I guess.
Well, I think she was. I definitely
Yeah.
think Jolinar
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
But-
I think she
But I think Binar totally was into her. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Think
she
so.
manipulated him. Oh yeah, I think that she saw an opportunity because he was probably lustful for her, and she used that to make him fall in love with her so that she could get close.
I mean, he's
and then, yeah,
he's the literal definition of an incel. He's like stuck on hell. Come on. Like what I mean,
Yeah.
there's
I don't think
there's
he took
nobody
it
for
to
him.
her. Like, I don't
No.
think he was going to take it to her to like be inappropriate with her or like rape her, but I think she saw an opportunity to like soften the beast, so to speak, and like get behind there, gain his trust. And then she betrayed him, which is the ultimate, like, you unlock beast mode in an incel at that point. Like,
I
that's
was,
my take.
Yeah, like the way I read it was like she definitely manipulated him, and used her body to like get what she wanted out of him. But I never read it as he loved her or had any affection for her. I just thought he was some nasty dude.
I think love is
Sticking it
is a
in.
weird term. I think he was obsessed though. Like I don't think it's I think at that point it's not love. But
Creep.
like it's
Yeah,
lust and it's obsessive. Yeah.
interesting. Oh, once again, we all have like.
I don't think he was expecting them to like go off and get married and have a wonderful life together. Like that's not what I think he was thinking would happen. But
Well, also in a prison environment, there's that power dynamic where he has all of the power and control over her. So, like in our modern prison system, inmates cannot consent to a sexual relationship with a guard, even if they are willing. It is still looked at as an abuse of power. Like it is still it is still not ethical because of that power dynamic. Even if the inmate willingly and pursues a sexual or romantic relationship, it's still prohibited because of that power dynamic. So you have that whole part of it in there too, where she couldn't say no to him even if she wanted to, because he could just like take what he wanted anyway, which is fucking dark. So Binar, yeah, he's like, hell no, that bitch screwed me over, and I wish I could kill her, but I guess I'll just have to kill you instead. Close second. Carter notices a star-shaped amulet on a chain around Binar's neck. There's a large red crystal in the center of it. Flashback, Jolinar takes the crystal out of the amulet as Binar sleeps. She goes to the alcove and puts it in a keyhole in the center device. She then steps in the middle of the room and the transport rings begin to activate. Return to present day, Carter looks at the ceiling and sees the circular structure that could hold the rings. So that is their way of escape.
And that's the part that makes me like go to my viewpoint, because I'm like, him letting her be there while he's sleeping is a super vulnerable thing. That's my like made me stop and pause this time about that dynamic with them. Because he is passed out, like, happy boy. Like, he got his, he's sleeping.
That's what I'm saying. He was just a nasty dude. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know if that necessarily meant he trusts her. He was just like, done, sleep.
Oh,
I gotta
Interesting.
rewatch it then because I don't.
yeah. I'll try watching it with Gillian, but like it's because otherwise I feel like he would have like kicked her out because he knows what's at stake, like in there. Like there's a lot of trust.
Well, you also don't see a lot, from what we see at least, we don't really see a lot of other women prisoners in that environment. She
That's
could have
true.
been the only one and was like, that's my ticket out of here. I'm using
Oh, she absolutely did use
the V
it.
card.
Like, oh, yeah.
It was never a question about her using him.
Yeah.
It's just she used him and she was able to manipulate him because he's a creepy dude and he's obsessive with her because she's like maybe the only lady, but at least a hot lady
Yeah.
in hell, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, that's where the obsession part comes in. Like, I don't think it was love in that like traditional. He wasn't in love with her.
He was infatuated.
He was infatuated with her. Yeah.
Mhm.
And she knew that and she used that. So
But you got to
Anyway.
get out. You got to escape. Like that. I mean, like, what are you gonna do? Like that's your survival way out. Like I don't blame her to do the same thing.
Yeah. So, right as Binar is about to kill Sam, Neonak comes out of nowhere and staff blasts him in the back, killing him, and he takes Sam back to the pit. Sam tells the group about the ring devices that Jolinar used to escape. She then tells them how Neonak killed Binar, and Jacob says the prisoners are going to riot. The denizens.
the denizens.
The plan is to have Teal'c intercept the ring transport. But Teal'c has been discovered and is under fire, and he's trying,
We're busy
but
right now.
he's pulling some crazy maneuvers, Mario Kart that shit throughout space, trying to get out of the line of fire. And he's going to try his best. The group begin to make a break for it and try to bust out. They get to Binar's chambers, but the key that was around his neck is gone. Martouf's trying to hotwire the rings to make it work without the key. But Neonak busts through the door before they can finish and capture them. And then Neonak says, "You shall call me Neonak no longer. From this day forth,
And we're
I
all
will
like, what is
reclaim."
that? What is that
Jesus.
voice? What is that? Is that a familiar voice? What?
What
Yeah.
is that?
He's going to reclaim his real name, and he takes his executioner mask off. Apophis.
Dun dun dun.
That's why you don't send
Shock.
their bodies back through the Stargate, man. Like,
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
he's alive.
Alive and
It's-
well.
So it's funny because I think up until that point in the episode, Neonak was played by a different actor, so the voice was not as recognizable until the end when that was Peter Williams' voice.
mhm.
So, would we like to take a brief intermission before we
Sure.
get into the next episode?
We can do that.
Yeah.
Everybody take 5-minute intermission.
Yeah, anyone who's watching in the comments, come up with more names that you could call these things besides devices. Toker-talkie, anyone?
Toker-talkie. All right, I'll be right back.
Welcome
Okay.
back from our commercial break.
Bum,
I
bum,
gotta get
bum.
better. I gotta get better at like killing the hold music.
I didn't realize that was us at first. I thought it was like some
It's a built-in background music
thing.
option. I love it.
We have a really good comment from Nell about the Jolinar love story. They said, I could argue both ways because falling asleep with a prisoner in the room seems trusting, but it could also be arrogance. Believing his power over the prison is so complete, he'd be safe. I agree. I think that's a very good take. Also, this reminds me, we did get your message through Patreon about members of the military, and we forgot to read that, but we will read that. I think we can stick around. You want to read it at the end or
Maybe not this time. 'Cause
next
we're
episode?
we're heading for a long, long episode.
It's a
this
long
time.
one, yeah. But we didn't forget you, I promise.
No, it just was Gary and now this one. So it's been kind of like hard to fit it in.
Yeah. But
I still don't think he was trusting of her. I think he was arrogant. I still think he was obsessed though. Like obsessed like nastily obsessed. Like
Yeah.
that's my thing with him.
Like totally objectified, didn't even see her as a human making like choices. I think he just took it as
I'd like for us to say he like was in love with her. I don't think it should be misconstrued as like, oh, that's a nice love thing. Like that was not a
No.
nice love thing
it
at
was
all.
not- it was
No,
nasty.
no.
No.
It was nasty. It's very nasty. It's
Mhm.
skeezy. And like even the idea of that and his obsession is what made that even skeezier to me watching it. You know,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
that's how I felt about it. So
Yeah. So we're just gonna jump right in. Listen, there's not a lot of like deep, interesting topics in these episodes. It's an adventure episode. They're
mhm.
going to the hell planet. They're saving people. They're talking on their toker talkies, you know, like it's a fun ride. So the next Apophis is alive. Could you imagine in the 90s waiting a whole week to be like, what? He's alive, even though we kind of knew what happened, but we didn't know it would be now. He's
Yep.
back. He also has like the one side of his face is all like burnt and fucked up, and he has like
It's
his
very
little
like Phantom of
the
yeah.
Opera mask on his
Very
face.
Phantom of the Opera. Yeah. Big time.
So I open the next episode with a piece of dialogue that they opened it with. It's O'Neill, Apophis, and Daniel. I'll grab the O'Neill.
I got Apophis, I guess.
I got Daniel. Yes.
And O'Neill just like we get the whole recap of like previously on Stargate SG-1, and then this is literally how the episode opens. O'Neill says, "You do understand we're not happy to see you."
Your insolence is music to my ears. When I first saw you here, I knew I had found the path out of damnation. You will be the means by which I reclaim the power and the position that is rightfully mine.
Your mate, Amunet, is dead. Sorry to ruin your day. No, actually, I'm wrong about that. I'm not sorry.
Sokar sent word to me of Amunet's death. I did not believe it.
Well, believe it. It's true.
Then it must also be true that Teal'c is the murderer.
Oh, that'd wrap things up real nice for you, wouldn't it?
Why is the Sholva not with you?
So one of the other prisoners snitches them out about their walkie-talkie and takes it from Daniel, giving it to Apophis. Apophis gives Teal'c a real nice message that's pretty much like, I lived, bitch, and I'm coming for you.
Can you imagine? Like Teal'c just, I mean, he's just been like, okay, and?
I
Like,
think he's
and?
like also still evading capture. I don't know if he's still in orbit of the planet, but I think if I'm remembering correctly, he like hears it come through. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, what's happening down there? Because again, he's like, I lived, bitch, I'm coming for you. And he sends SG-1 back to the pit. So back in the pit, Martu loves to rub it in their face and is like, I told you so. Sokar was going to
Just
bring him back.
Big,
Mhm.
bright, way too perfect teeth.
Yeah.
Shiny bright.
They're so shiny.
So shiny.
When he says
And-
denizens.
His like
Denizens.
crystal clear blue eyes too.
Yeah, it's
J.R.
Hmm.
Bourne, man.
they are born.
So Apophis has to earn Sokar's trust, and they believe that he'll use them as a bargaining chip. So Apophis gives a nice speech to the residents of Hell that he's in charge now, and he plans to defeat Sokar and take all of his fun toys and be like, I'm taking this fleet, I'm wiping out the system lords, I'm gonna be the big cheese now. So Devil Jim Jaffa reports to Sokar that
Devil
they well, did you notice their uniforms are like very demon like and like
Mhm.
red and pointy? I thought it was pretty cool. That they
Devil Jim Jaffa, though, I just hear the devil went down to Georgia in my head when you say Devil Jim Jaffa. Brr, brr, brr.
I would
Anyway.
ad lib like a funny song, but I'm not that quick. I'm not that
No, I'm not either.
whose line is it anyway?
Yeah, you're gonna like all the. That's a lot of words to have to try to be
The
clever
devil
with.
went down to Netu. He was looking
with
that's all I got. Like I'm not
That's
very
perfect. Don't worry, just leave it there. The devil went down to Netu.
Can we Photoshop like Charlie Daniels in like hell background and put it on a meme or something?
We'll put it on a
Oh,
shirt too. Like
I
I'm just gonna
gotta
keep making inappropriate shirts that people may or may not buy. It's gonna be great. It's just we need that. It's gonna be great. The devil went down to Netu. Perfect.
So anyway, Devil Jim Jaffa reports to Sokar that they spotted the cargo ship, but it evaded and escaped them. So Teal'c got out. Good for you. Sokar now wants to move up his attack on the system lords ASAP and get the show on the road. Sokar's aesthetic, so I kind of mentioned this before. He's got these long, nasty ass fingernails. He's pale, yellow eyes. He's always wearing a hooded cloak. He's got that dark veins showing through. This is actor David Palfy, who also plays Anubis in the future.
Very similar. Go old character.
Very similar vibe.
Very, very similar vibe.
So the Jaffa armor too, it's like very different. It's like red and spiky. And even their forehead symbol is kind of unlike anything we've seen. It's not like I don't know, it looks like a weird star. Also, like Sokar reminds me, have you ever seen, because I have, The Passion of the Christ? Because he
Yes.
reminds me of the creepy Satan devil in The Passion of the Christ. Like the very like pale, creepy, like yeah.
Yep.
Mel Gibson took notes. So Apophis is checking himself out in the mirror because he's looking at his Phantom of the Opera mask. His first prime, who's just like top hell citizen of the year in hell, reports that 300 prisoners are following him and the rest were banished to the surface. The first prime also turns the nose hair clippers that activate the memory recall device. And Apophis is like, cool, bring me the woman, meaning Sam. The first prime goes to the pit and tells Sam to come with him. And Jack gives him a little sass, and the first prime just shoots him in the leg, which is kind of funny, but also not. Like, but I'm surprised it took that long for that type of reaction, because in a real situation, you give someone attitude, they're just going to shoot you. Like, they didn't hesitate. They didn't tell him to shut up. He was just, boom.
Yeah.
Don't. Like, and he keels over immediately. I
Yeah.
think was it the thigh or the calf? Somewhere on
Like
the
his-
leg.
Yeah. Like right around his knee, one direction or the other. Anyway, it was a place where it's like, I think in real life, like Jack O'Neill would not have been active duty after that anymore. Like
There are a lot of things that would have taken them out of active duty.
Yep.
So, meanwhile, Teal'c is on the move, still piloting the cargo ship. We get a nice little clip of that. Apophis plans to use the memory recall to get Sam to spill the beans and help him with some nasty ass drink called the blood of Sokar, which is a drug that like messes with their memories. So Sam has another flashback of her and Jacob the day that her mother's funeral was. Jacob's supposed to pick up the mom, but was late, so she took a cab and there was an accident. And Sam says she understands, but Mark, her brother, blames Jacob. So there's a lot of contention about what happened around his wife's death. So there's some dialogue. So we see this memory happen, and it's familiar, kind of like the same setting as we had before. Do you guys want to read that?
Yep, I'll be Jacob. All right. Jacob says, just tell me one day we're going to be okay. Just tell me one day we're going to be okay.
No, I forgave you long ago. Why am I stuck in this? The same memory over and over? I guess if we never had this conversation, neither of us would be in this mess, would we? I would have gone on hating you in the military. I never would have got involved in the Stargate program. You would have died of cancer.
So then the memory begins to change and it's distorted. And then Jacob is asking for a way home, the iris codes. And Sam knows it's fake. And the memory ends and she's back in Netu and Apophis is standing in front of her. She passes out. So
She's
MVP.
tripping balls.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
Tripping balls.
drinking that Kool-Aid, that Sokar Kool-Aid. So MVP Teal'c has made it back to the Sokar home world, Vorash. He plays them the message that Apophis left. I guess the Gould walkie-talkie has a voicemail capability too.
Duh, of course.
Very
It does.
convenient.
Tokra-talkie, now with voice messaging. Voice.
The new upgraded Tokra-talkie.
Tokra-talkie 5.0.
Do you guys want to read? It's
Yeah.
Teal'c, Alduin, and then I'll just get the message from Apophis.
Sure.
It says, Teal'c, this is your god, Apophis, risen from the fires of Netu. The fate of your friends will be pleasant compared to the one I have planned for you.
I'll be Teal'c, I guess. It was then that I realized they would not be able to execute the escape plan. I entered hyperspeed in order to avoid the gliders that had detected my presence.
You must have run the hyperspace engines at full power in order to make the journey so quickly.
The situation was urgent.
I understand your desire to report the information concerning Sokar's planned attack against the System Lords as soon as possible. It may prove invaluable.
I have come seeking assistance in order to rescue my friends and your fellow Tok'ra. I believe it to be the only a matter of time before Sokar learns that Apophis has eliminated Binar and therefore takes action to restore control.
Wait here. I will consult the High Council and return shortly with a course of action.
Bureaucracy.
Good for Teal'c, though, like, thinking, like, on the fly, like, okay, I clearly can't help here. Like, I gotta go get reinforcements. Like, there's 2 Tok'ra down there. There's my friends down there. Like, let's get our people out. But yes, they gotta vote or some shit. So, back on Netu, Jack is now brought before Apophis, and they stick him with a memory recall and make him drink Sokar's Kool-Aid just for funsies. They're like, okay, well, just let's go through the whole lot. Back in the pit, Jacob is on death's door, but Sam is like, no, fuck that. Don't leave me with the dirty work of having to explain this to your grandkids. Just like, you better not fucking die. I'm not doing that.
Yep.
So Sam also gives Martooth a heads up about being tortured, and he's like, no big deal. I've dealt with this before. But Sam is like, nah, bro, Sokar's Kool-Aid got me fucked up. This is where I was getting like, I watched both of these episodes the same day and my thumbs. You see the little TikTok ad that's like a Cyndi Lauper like spoof where it's like
And
the
it's like
zombie,
the zombie
thumbs.
thumb. Yeah.
That was me typing these notes.
I can't with you.
Yeah, that one.
I can't with you.
So,
Oh my god.
You guys want to read the Carter and Martooth?
Let's do it.
Sure.
Go for it.
Sure.
This is not like anything you could imagine. Everything seems real. Feelings, sensations. It's like you're actually there in your own past. And then suddenly everything seems wrong. Your mind gets all twisted. Just don't let Apophis use Jolinar against you.
How could he?
You must be angry about what Jolinar had to do to escape from here. Martooth, she loved you.
Yeah.
He's, whatever.
Listen,
Get over it.
I don't think he has like the right to be angry. She was in survival mode. She had to do what she had to do to escape. Like, I wouldn't even consider her a consenting participant to that.
No, but I also like struggle with this. We can talk about it later. But like the fact that there was not a safe space where she felt like she could share that is also problematic to me because Martooth, like, granted, she didn't need to share it, but also like a healthy relationship would have space where, like, no matter the trauma, there's
we kind of don't have a good timeline though. Of
no, that's
like,
true.
how,
Because we don't really know if he saw her after that.
Yeah, we
Like,
really
that's
don't.
fair.
Like she might have
That's
been
fair.
doing some other like trying to get away. We don't know.
That's a good
It
point.
seems like they were apart more than they were together because
That's
of
fair.
Tok'ra stuff. So
That's fair. I'll give her that.
yeah.
So back to Jack's memory. He's reliving the memory of Charlie playing with a water gun. and he tries to change the memory so Charlie doesn't get mad at him, because it was this whole situation where Charlie's like playing with a gun and Jack doesn't like it. He has this very visceral reaction of like, even toy guns are not cool, bro. Like, I don't want you playing with it. And he's trying to like change the memory and like how it played out. It's like, don't be mad, just come play catch. And this little Charlie like calls him out and he's like, stop changing what happened. You're just trying to make it better. What really happened is you got mad at me and I went into the house, and then 2 weeks later I shot myself with your gun. And we never played catch today, and we never will. And then Charlie asked, like, this is where the memory starts to distort. And now this little Charlie is asking about information about the Asgard and the ancient knowledge database. But of course, Jack knows that it's fake.
Like, I'm sorry, but Apophis gives it so quickly. Like, dude, you like go straight for the like, tell me everything you know. Like, you're not good at this. This is not
But
good.
I think it's implied that the blood of Sarkar will it's like, it'll like loosen them up and get them to talk
It's
more.
like truth serum.
Yeah,
that's
but
fair.
it just doesn't. I guess it just doesn't work because they're our heroes and they're so cool. They would never like fall for something like that.
It's another
No,
reason,
never.
Sarah, why you need to watch Jumpin' Jack Flash. There's a whole truth serum bit. It's wonderful.
You know, that's a Whoopi Goldberg movie, right?
Yes.
You know what? One that I get the urge to watch every now and then is The Associate, where she
That's a good one.
where she cosplays as a white man to get into the old rich white man club.
Well,
Oh,
in Jumpin' Jack Flash, she cosplays as a Tina Turner, like a impersonator to get into the British consulate during a party,
Oh, that's amazing.
Nice.
among other things.
After
And there's
she
truth
was
serum involved later. It's wonderful.
Streaming. So back on Vorash, the Tok'ra have been instructed to go back to Netu to blow it up, and then the explosion will take Sokar's ship with it because the planet's super volatile. So Teal'c protests at first, but then he decides, I'm gonna get farther if I just play along with them and kind of like figure this out as I go. So this was kind of a funny scene with Jack. O'Neill wakes up suddenly. Daniel gets out of the way. They end up seated against the cell bars. They took Martouf next, and Jack says they put that damn memory thing on me and gave me something that reminded me of the 70s. The blood of Sokar.
Oh yeah.
And then Jack is like, I'm just gonna pass out again. He straight up's like, and then he like falls asleep. So Teal'c and the stock Tok'ra, which his name is Aldwin, I didn't give him enough credit. He does have a name. They're on their way to Netu. You can tell Teal'c's wheels are turning and he's trying to figure out a way to save the whole Scoob and the whole gang. And timing will be critical because once the weapon has been launched, it will take approximately 12 minutes before the reaction and the moon's core reaches critical mass. If Sokar has enough advanced warning, he'll be able to vamoose and get out of range from the explosion. Now it's Toof's turn to drink the Kool-Aid. I don't know, autocorrect got me. The Loop Aid. The Kool-Aid. But they use it to fuck with him more and bring Sam in, who he's seeing her as Jolinar. He demands to know where the Tok'ra homeworld is located and is going to kill Sam. Martouf tells him Apophis now wants to see Daniel. So Martouf folds like a cheap suit and he's like, okay, cool. Now it's my turn to talk to Daniel.
Yep.
In the meantime, Sokar's fleet is ready now. Devil Jim Jaffa tells him, like, we're good to go, man. Martouf tells Sam that he lied about the Tok'ra homeworld to Apophis. Daniel is having a memory about after Sha're was killed. And it's O'Neill is talking to him. It's about the kid. And basically, Apophis is fishing for knowledge about where the kid is hiding. Because it's the Harcesis child. Remember, he has all the knowledge of the genetic memory of the Gould, so he is very important. Daniel catches on that it's a fake memory and refuses to spill the beans. And then Sokar comes through speakerphone to Apophis. It's like what like where the ring device panel is located. He's just like, hello,
Little
come in.
intercom.
Intercom, yeah. So Apophis speaks up. He's like, Bynnar is dead by my hands. I'm Apophis, and the denizens of Netu follow me. And Sokar is pissed off. He's like, I'm gonna kill you all. And Apophis is now trying to bargain. He says, listen, I got some info. There's 3 Tari and a Toker down here, and I've learned a lot. Binary was a little weak ass bitch. He was incompetent, and I'll serve you instead, and I'll offer you information. Just grant me your audience. And Sarkar was like, okay, fine, cool. We'll see.
Sounds like
So-
a deal. Yeah.
So far. So Daniel sees the communication device on the table. He hesitates, getting up, and like the Jaffa's like, come on, get up. And he like kind of like punches him, and the Jaffa slugs him in the face. He falls, and he like makes that slick grab for the
Yeah.
Tokra talkie.
That thing. Yep.
So Apophis plans to double cross Sokar and kill him. He takes the transport rings to Sokar,
Sokar?
is what I meant. Yeah. Teal'c can see from the cargo ship where the rings are coming up, and then they're getting ready to launch the weapon as well. So Sam gets a hold of Teal'c, but the Tok'ra launch the weapon before he can stop him. God damn it, Alduin, you little shit. Like, come on.
Mhm.
So Sam begins forming a plan. They start packing an open geyser with rocks and old rags. Apophis meets with Sokar. He's trying to be big and bad, but Sokar is not buying it. He tells Sokar the location Martouf told him, but Sokar recently conquered Antak and found no Tok'ra, and he's like, killed this Joker. He is useless. He's got nothing for me. Meanwhile, Teal'c and Alduin are going at it. Like, basically Teal'c like shoves him in the cargo hold. He's like, fuck you, I'm getting my friends. Like, we'll figure it out. Because they have to get out of the way or they're going to get caught in the blast too.
Yeah.
So the group blasts out of the pit with the pressure from the geyser. Sokar is just like having a good old time torturing Apophis. Daniel is communicating with Teal'c and he's getting ready to get in place. So Alduin is like shouting this from the cargo hold. He's trying to give Teal'c some pointers. Like, we have less than 9 minutes. If we stay here much longer, we're going to get caught in the explosion ourselves. And they have to intercept the ring beam precisely and come to a complete stop. They can't just like do a drive-by, like jump in, tuck and roll. Like, they have to stop completely. Sokar, Jaffa report that Netu is exploding and they need to get the fuck out of here. Apophis uses this opportunity to kill Double Jim Jaffa and escape. He tries to kill Sokar, but Sokar's got that handy dandy personal shield. And the group transports with the rings. Teal'c snatches them up. We see the transport rings activate and send someone to the neighboring planet. Who escaped? We don't know yet.
Tis a mystery.
Yep. So in the Teltac, the cargo ship, Teal'c gets up from his pilot seat and opens the cargo door to see everyone in there. We have some O'Neill and Teal'c and an Alduin. I'll get that. I'll get the Alduin.
You want O'Neill?
Sure.
Yeah, too. We have escaped.
Iced tea, air conditioning, water. Teal'c brings him some. Thanks.
And then Alduin says, I'm sorry I doubted you.
I am as surprised as you that we survived.
Teal'c's like, I didn't think we were going to make it out of that
No,
one.
nope. I was going down with the ship.
So Jacob talks to Sam about planning a getaway and that Alaska is nice and cold this time of year. And then the last scene of the episode, interior view of Netu's remnants from Sokar's palace. Apophis turns around to face the camera. Fade out.
Dun, dun.
Dun. Like, it's a really good, like, those were a good 2 episodes. Like, that gave some juicy storytelling. That was good. Like, we've kind of been like in a, not in a rut, but it had been a little blasé. Like, the buildup was not sure where it was going to go, but I was happy with that kind of execution.
I felt it was appropriate that Sokar got a 2-parter considering how much he was built up, but then he's done. Like, they killed him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we get confirmation, but we don't see him ever
He doesn't
again.
come back, right?
No. So, like I said before, fun facts and discussion, originally intended to be 1 episode. Jolinar's Memories was so expensive, the production staff decided the only way to pay for it would be to split it up over 2 episodes by developing the second part. The second episode, The Devil You Know, was written. Up to that point, it was almost as expensive as the two-parter as it was for the pilot Children of the Gods. So I really want to know like what made that so expensive. This was written by the creator of Stargate Atlantis and Stargate Universe. It is the final appearance of Sokar. He is mentioned later only by name in the series. And then this episode does mark the death of Sokar, the fourth powerful Gould who was killed by SG-1. Even in the occasion, technically the main credit for the killing goes to the Tok'ra. Apophis survives the destruction of Sokar's Hatak and takes control of his forces.
Mm-hmm.
So Apophis is not done yet.
Not yet. Not by a long shot.
Got a really killer episode.
Yeah.
Still.
And then if we would like to refer to our lovely written history,
Bringing it back.
oral history
yeah.
of Stargate. So let me see. Peter DeLuise in an interesting challenge because we go to the planet Delmac, where it's basically a volcanic hellscape dungeon type place where all these poor bastards go to get put away. Then Carter gets put in and she has all these memories flooding her mind as though they're her own. I remember that. And of course, Amanda Tapping, who has always having to play this semi-stoic military thing, taps into a very passionate place and starts to have a transfer with Jolinar. I remember thinking I was so grateful about the talent of the core cast because obviously Amanda Tapping was up for the task. Which, yeah, absolutely. Like, she does so great switching between being a soldier and then like having those really emotional moments about like when her mom died. Director of photography Peter Wost gave us the smeary dream look. Smeary dream is when you shoot at 6 frames a second instead of 24. What happens in each frame of the film is duplicated many times, and there is a movement you get a smear. It looks like a residual image. What?
No, yeah, you're right.
Oh, I thought you were saying no. I was like, what?
It looks like the residual image of your hand in its fist, second, third, and fourth position, all in one go. It gives a little bit of strobing smearing effect. If you've ever been on a drug-induced hallucination, then I understand that's what you might encounter.
No, never.
No,
One of those.
That didn't automatically
No.
make me relate at all to that explanation. No.
So then that was about Jolinar's memories. And then The Devil You Know, Peter DeLuise says the episode begs the question, when ridiculously powerful overlords are sitting on their thrones, what are they doing? Do they play Parcheesi? Do they play Minefield? Do they play Solitaire? Is someone like Sokar just sitting there doing nothing? What is he doing? So I had him playing with a flame because I couldn't figure out what he would be doing. He had a flame. He was putting his finger, turn the page, so what else was he going to do? There's a lot. Do you guys want to read one of these paragraphs? Because we have Robert C. Cooper, Peter DeLuise, Darren Sumner.
Girl, you gonna make me... I don't know where my book is. My ADHD has placed it somewhere.
Sometimes it's hard for me to read out loud, like something that's from an interview that somebody said. Because
hold on, let me go grab it. I think I know where it is. I'll go find mine. Hold on.
I'll read the next one from Robert Cooper. Some people have wondered why we created this really cool Gould and Sokar only to kill him off right away. Well, we originally killed Apophis because the character had gotten a little weak. We had him beaten so many times that it was no longer scary. Then we realized we could bring him back in the dramatic fashion and give his character a whole new level by having him rise from the ashes and take over the realm of the scariest Gould we could think of. We built Sokar up exactly for this reason. The more powerful he was, the more powerful Apophis would become when he defeated him.
Yeah, so that makes sense why they set Sokar up to die pretty quickly.
The fake death trope back in action, too.
Yep.
All right, Sarah, give me the page number real quick. I'll read one of them.
190.
All right. Ooh, okay, so who did you read already?
I read Robert C. Cooper.
Okay, I'll read Peter DeLuise.
Go ahead.
All right, so I think that's a good kind of... I like his perspective on this. Okay, so the second part of a 2-part episode where they're still in the same place and have to escape. The big challenge of the episode was that volcanic dungeon-esque area where you had all of these different aliens who had to be in various Jaffa and were sent to this prison place. My thought process was it's not unlike Australia when it was a penal colony. The view was you're just going to go over there. So that was really fun because you got to see the ragtag version of what was formerly these powerful, well-trained Jaffa and various other aliens. And now they're all sort of stuck as prisoners of war, destined for hard labor. And they weren't expected to survive. So I always kind of enjoyed that. I also really liked what David Palfy did with the Sokar character because it was supposed to be over the top and very melodramatic.
It was, but not. He wasn't corny with it. I liked that he wasn't corny. He played it very serious, and it was dramatic and kind of creepy. And then one very last entry from Darren Sumner: Jolinar's memories and the Devil You Know are more examples of the show honoring its fans and existing stories, being willing to go back and pick up loose pieces and continuing those stories on. This is a rescue mission to save Jacob Carter from the clutches of Sokar after being imprisoned on his hellish moon prison of Netu. So SG-1, go to hell. At this point, Apophis is long dead for more than half a season, and the writers were elevating a new villain in Sokar. But then there's this big reveal at the end of Jolinar's memories that Apophis is alive again and in charge. And now he's in charge of this prison moon, and he's got SG-1 right where he wants them. It's very sort of over-the-top scenery, chewing from Peter Williams, and it's just great. So, anyway, if you want more, check out
I love
Slot.
it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I hear the puppies in the background. Do I hear the puppies?
No, that was Ergo sneezing because he's
Ergo.
nasty. Yeah.
That's Ergo sneezing.
Puppies have been asleep.
That literally sounded like the puppy is like having a bark attack.
No, he
Ergie.
has cat allergies. He sneezes a lot.
Oh, Ergie.
It's gross. It's
No.
not cute.
I would argue that for the budget of that episode, it kind of makes sense. Usually they're able to use the woods as some of their scenery. They clearly weren't able to use that. They had to build like quite a few different sets.
Yeah.
They normally, I feel like later you started seeing more sets, but especially early on in SG-1's run, you didn't see quite that many. And like all the makeup and like it makes sense why it was so expensive.
Yeah.
I feel like it's interesting because I feel like another episode I could compare it to, which feels fairly decently expensive, is another one where they're stuck in a prison because it's what the one it was during season 6 because it's Jonas instead of Daniel.
Oh, Metamorphosis?
Yes. Yeah, because that's like a ton of makeup. It's quite a few different sets. Like you've got all of Nearty's stuff. Like it feels similar. Like it's very rich in the setting and the sets and the people. So
Yeah.
and it's another one where they're stuck in a prison. Like interestingly.
That makeup too, especially because you're right, because Apophis has like a melty face, Binar has a melty face, Sokar himself would
So many-
require a lot of
yeah.
makeup.
And so many of the background characters too. Like it's just like there's more to it. Like when
Dirty.
you look at all of that, like behind them and everything, there's just like a lot there. So
Yeah.
and that's like not even counting any of the like CGI or anything they had to like effects that they had to do. That's just
That's
all
right.
practical stuff that they had to do. So
Yeah.
God, that's intense.
mhm.
That like it's interesting at how my brain's working on this one, but in thinking about that, it reminded me of I had no idea that Gary Jones was a costume designer when I texted you guys that he was a costume designer on Princess Diaries. And I don't know why that just made me think about that because all the work that goes into like these sets and stuff, I had no idea. And now we just on our last episode, he was the person. Anyway, there's a lot of work that goes into that part of it, and I don't think people give it like its due or its credit or its. I mean, it's in the details, and they did a great job.
Yeah, like think about like all the like red Jaffa gear they had to make.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, because you don't see that anywhere else.
and
had to
they're
make that.
usually able to reuse, I'm sure, a lot of that normally. So
Mhm.
yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Whew, that was a big beefy. Or the big ol'.
It was, but we got through it pretty efficient.
did.
So
I don't have any like discussion beyond because other than like the dynamic of Binar and Jolinar's relationship, there wasn't too much to this episode that is like, ooh, let's study this and pick this apart. Because it was a rescue mission, and they rescued.
Very much an adventure.
Yeah.
Let's go on a quest together.
What's next? We're getting into like one of my favorite like arcs because I'm thinking like foothold,
is-
pretense, ergo, 100 days. That
Foothold is
4
next.
episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which one's next?
Foothold.
Such a good one. So it's foothold.
Mayborn, you're an idiot every day of the week. Why couldn't you just take one day off?
So good.
So much.
So good. I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be a good one.
And then we have pretense, which is Chlorel. Ergo, which is a classic.
Oh, yes.
Dom DeLuise. And then this one has been sticking with me. I've been waiting to get this because Rebecca hates it so much. 100 days.
Oh, yes.
I'm stupidly excited because I can't wait
I am too.
to hear you bitch about
Let
it.
me count the ways.
Oh, we will celebrate this.
I
episode
can't
for
wait.
you. Oh, yes.
This is like one of my sweet spots.
It goes beyond a Sam and Jack shippy thing. Like it hits on so many levels of everything that I hate. Like so many levels. But we'll get to it when we get to it.
Okay.
You can all suffer with me together.
I can't wait.
Oh my god. All right, whose turn is it this time?
I think I'll do it because I have one.
Hold on. Let me get you queued up here. All right. I'm ready whenever you are.
This is Sarah reporting from my Tokra Talkie. 3 fries out. Close the iris.